Hey guys, Legendary GRIMLOCK here, and today we're actually going to be power scaling a very powerful verse here. Not really talked about as much when in comparison to Marvel and DC, but you guys are going to learn something today. So we're going to be talking about the Transformers verse, and we're going to talk about it in general. So think of this as kind of like a composite point scaling. Basically, all the amalgamations of characters from good to bad all combined into one. So let's begin here. And the easiest one I could do is speed, right? The easiest, scaling to start off anyway. So this is zero space. Zero space is a singularity point of both everything and nothing perfectly combined into one, where characters are able to move in this timeless zone. Now, again, remember, this zone has no time, no space, no nothing. It's a void, but it's not a void. And yet, Cybertronians are able to move through this. This means they will have massively faster than light to immeasurable forms of speed. Now, take characters like Blur, who is known as the fastest Cybertronian. This means that there is no time limit or no speed limit he really has to his speed. There's no cap. It's infinite. It's immeasurable. It's incalculable. So characters like Silver Surfer and the Flash, who have this incalculable and immeasurable speed, have another competitor. Now let's get into the AP and everything else department. This comes from the scaling of the 13 original primes. These primes are all unique in their own way. You got Prima, Vector Prime, Alpha Trion, Solus, Micronus, Nexus, Onyx, Amalgamus, Leech Maximal, The Fallen, etc. Okay, so these guys are all very powerful. They're able to destroy the Transformers multiverse, which is a 17D plane, and it's infinite. So they're able to destroy an infinite growing multiverse that's 17 dimensional. And they're all multiversal singularities, meaning there is pretty much one of them in the multiverse. So you could basically say, oh, well, why do we see different incarnations? Well, again, there's multiversal singularities. That doesn't mean that they aren't going to have their own, versions or their own cells implemented into these multiverses. They're also above the Vox, who are pretty much connected to the multiverse and pretty much transcended as well. They also hold weapons which are capable of destroying the multiverse as well, even bestowing powers upon the multiverse. Their own powers to Cybertronians of that multiverse. This includes the Star Saber, which is able to one-shot the infinite growing multiverse. This includes Nexus Prime being able to give his powers to any Cybertronian, including the likes of the Enigma of Combination, which is one of his relics, which allows Cybertronians to combine. So when you look at it, characters like Superion, Predaking, Volcanicus, and Devastator all have a portion of that power. They have the portion of a multiversal singularity. And like I said in my Omega Supreme versus Gigan video, Omega Supreme casually is above this as well. This also would explain how Volcanicus is able to fight against an evil version or an evil avatar of Primus, being able to not only go toe-to-toe with him and actually damage him, but eventually wind up one-shotting him when he actually gains full control over his amalgamous energy. Combiners also work very differently, with only one person being able to be in charge, and they have to be in sync as well. There's also countless versions of the Matrix of Leadership, with the Matrix of Leadership actually being able to tap into the multiversal powers of the primes themselves. There's also the Dead Universe, or the Herald of Unicron scaling. The Herald of Unicron scaling actually puts them around higher levels into the multiverse, or basically outerversal. This scaling comes from Ramjet, or the Ramjet Universe, who is the strongest Herald of Unicron. Ramjet was able to basically absorb every form of the Dead Universe. The Dead Universe is known as a violent universe and is also kind of like the drawing board of other realities, meaning that G1, Beast Wars, and etc. also come from this universe. This also, the fact that he was boosted by minicons, which are a very powerful multiplier. But since we don't know how much of a boost they actually give Cybertronians, will actually use the Dragon Ball logic and say it's a 10 times multiplier. So this comes from Vector Prime, who, unamped by the way, was able to combat this Ramjet, who not only had mini cons to boost him, but was also powered by 4 different dead universes to serve Unicron. Sorry, and also Unicron himself. So, like I said earlier, these dead universes are very violent. They're very volatile. They're very raw with energy and power. So this is kind of like one of the universes that's able to be controlled and is able to be used in imagination, as you guys probably saw in Transformers, the War for Cybertron trilogy. I think it was the second season when they went into the dead universe, right? So this will put the primes above the concept of imagination and reality itself here, making them universal. However, they go even further than that when they fight against Unicron. Unicron is known as the Chaos Bringer and a chaos entity. An entity that exists far above the level of the primes, a actual platonic concept itself here. So Unicron, being this platonic concept, is actually the abstract entity of chaos itself, to the point where he is a fundamental part of all Transformers multiverses. His sheer presence, his true form, exists beyond the multiverse itself, and there's nothing you can actually do to stop him. So say if you throw Unicron against the Dark Army from DC, right? He's going to absorb the chaotic energy from them and gain even more power here. He's also above the space-time continuum, which has infinite possibilities and infinite timelines, to the point where there are Transformers that can actually transcend metafiction. All right, they can actually transcend the reality and come to the real world as well, are toys. So I want y'all to think about this real quick. Every toy line, right, is a part of the Transformers multiverse. The toy you have in your toy box right now is metafictional. That says a lot. This means that he's able to not only surpass the multiverse itself here, but actually just reach into metafiction to destroy the Transformers multiverse. This is actually ridiculously impressive for not only the primes, but for characters who can scale to avatars of Unicron. Characters like Megatron, Galvatron, Optimus Prime, okay? Rodimus Prime, Grimlock, and the rest of the Dinobots. Shockwave, okay? Characters that are on these prime level calibers, able to destroy these prime level characters with ease here, are massively much more capable than anything, okay? This would even put them above the Elder Gods, who are able to disrupt the entirety of the multiverse itself, breaching into continuities such as the Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joe. They even confirmed a threat to the infinite multiverse. Okay? These infinite universes, these countless dimensions, right? This means that they're a threat to everything. There's a threat to the timeline itself. And there's these alternate realities, right? You have alternate realities such as, for example, you have the Beast Wars that went on through the TV show. And you have the Beast Wars that went on in the comics. You have the Gathering and Ascending, which are basically continuations of, what the Beast Wars events take on Earth. You have the aligned continuity, the Unicron trilogy, okay? The G1 continuity, the sorry. You just have these alternate timelines that pretty much occur. Transformers Fall of Cybertron and War for Cybertron are not even really connected to Transformers Prime, as that takes place in an alternate timeline. Robots in the Skies, alternate timeline. Rescue Bots, alternate timeline. The Bayverse comics, movies, and games are all alternate timelines. There are timelines where Jazz actually survives the events of the first movie. There are timelines where other Autobots make it to Earth to make it more, profitable and make it much more, I guess you could say much easier for the Autobots as well on Earth, taking the pressure off of them as well. There's even the games where Megatron wins and he's able to kill the Fallen, where he's able to bend the power of the Allspark as well. There's also the intelligence factor of the Cybertronians we also have to consider here. They're much smarter than a lot of the beings we even consider. I would even put them smarter than the characters in Marvel, who have smarter characters, so probably some of the smartest characters in all of continuity. Some of them. Shockwave himself was able to control not one, but 2 dead universes. Brainstorm was able to travel back in time and almost affected the entire multiverse because of one simple event. Iron Fist or Physitron is able to create chemical warfare to the point where they're able to dissolve Transformers that are made out of star metal. So in conclusion, where do I place the Transformers? Where do I put them at a baseline level? Base level, they would easily be hyperversal. This comes from the scaling of the 13 original primes and the fact that there have been characters to kill members of the 13 original primes. Shockwave has been able to kill Onyx Prime, and, well, Optimus Prime has been able to repeatedly beat the Fallen. So I think we all understand where that's coming from, right? But at their highest, they scale into multiple layers into Outerversal. And I mean multiple layers. But anyway, you guys, let me know what you think down below. Did you guys learn something from the Transformers verse? Did I miss anything? Let me know down below. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.